as post-secondary students start to make their way to campus for the fall semester, part of the crash course in life lessons is the importance of building up favorable credit early to have enough financial history for the inevitable big-ticket purchases down the road. So for a look at the importance of picking the right student card and building smart money habits, really important skills, is personal finance expert Barry Choi. Hi, Barry. Good to see you.
You make it sound so scary. I don't want students at home freaking out. They're about to start college or university, like,
But it is a big responsibility,
Yeah.
and I think that's kind of the point, right? It's a balance. You want to be excited about this opportunity to spend your own money and maybe freely, but at the same time, you have to understand the responsibility with it.
There's so many things you touched on there, and I love it. So as a parent, normally people in the past would be like, oh, I'm just going to give my kid a supplementary credit card for emergencies. But that doesn't really teach them anything because the bank and mom and dad will always bail them out. But if you're thinking about those kids who are living on campus or going to university for the first time, there's going to be so many temptations, and there's going to be people there, but hey, get this credit card and you can buy what's behind you right now. And a lot of people don't understand how that works, and we're going to make sure they understand.
Yeah, speaking of temptations, you mentioned how easy it is, right? I'm sure students will show up on campus. Do they still set up the tables? They did that when we were
I am not 100% sure because I do not work for a finance institution, but I am pretty sure if you go to a certain university downtown and got off at Dundas Station, there are booths set up right in front of the mall. Say, hey, sign up, instant approval. You'll get that credit card number, and you can buy that new wardrobe, new cell phone, and whatever you want that mom and dad said no to. So that's the tricky part, because getting a credit card is great. It helps you build credit, but if you don't use it responsibly, it could be at a lot of trouble in the future.
Okay, so how do students do this? If they are interested in getting a student credit card, because there is a difference between a student card and a regular card, how do you recommend they do so in a responsible way?
I would say the easiest way to start is just to go to your financial institution. It doesn't matter where you go, because all of them will have a credit card that's designed for students. And what I mean by that is usually there's no income requirement. They'll give you a lower limit, and some will even have a lower interest rate, so you don't fall into those traps. But of course, you always need to read the fine print. Most credit cards, including some student credit cards, have interest rates of 20% plus, which is crazy, but for adults, we know that's very normal. For students, the first time they've ever heard of interest rates, right? So if you're paying your bills in full every single month, no problem. But if you're even carrying a small balance, that adds up really quickly. And if you're a student without a job or you're only working part-time, it can be very difficult to catch up.
Yeah, and I mean, adults sometimes have a hard time catching up, right? Especially if you put a lot on your credit card and then you have those high interest rates. Is that something students should be looking for then? I mean, there's so many options with a credit card, rewards, special incentives. What do you recommend on that front?
I think students should kind of think about what their goals are in the future. So whether that be travel or just manage your budget, so that could be cashback credit card or travel rewards credit card, but definitely look at those interest rates. No matter what, they're going to be high. Even a low interest credit card is like 9%, 12%, still significant. So I would say focus on just good credit habits. And what I mean by that is paying off your bills every single month in time, like we're saying, using your credit responsibly. So if you've got a $5,000 limit, keep your spending under $1,500, so it's reasonable, right? And just have a plan. It is good for an emergency, but if you don't have a plan to pay back that emergency, you're going to run into a lot of trouble. And just take the time to understand that it will help you build your credit. Your credit score is a number between 300 and 900. The higher your credit score, the more credit worthy you are, which can help you get a car loan or mortgage in the future. And
it's a great time to start working on that, right? As you're starting to make these responsible purchases. What about mistakes, though? Let's talk about that, because that's easy. It's an easy thing to do, right? Maybe overspend or go above your limit. What do you think?
The reality is once you get a credit card, most people are spending more on credit than cash. But the thing is, think about the kids who are growing up right now. They're not using cash.
No, not at all.
Even my daughter, like, she's 8, she hasn't touched cash. I just went to Europe. I was there for 2 weeks. I used cash once. It was absolutely crazy. So just understanding and learning. We've talked about this before. I want to reinforce the fact that always pay your bills in full and on time, and use those credit responsibly, and just manage your budget. What's great about a lot of credit cards these days, they have apps, so you can actually track your spending and be like, hey, you know what? I've actually spent a lot this month eating out, but I've got a meal plan at university. It makes no sense. Like, maybe I should be spending my money there. Why am I spending money when I'm already paying for food? So of course, just make sure you're understanding the apps and the budgeting tools that come with it.
Any other tools you would recommend on that? So check and see if your actual credit card provider has an app. Anything else?
They all have an app, but I would also say check your monthly statement every single month, line by line. I know a lot of students will be like, I'm not doing that, right?
Yeah.
But what you're going to do is look for the purchases to match up that what you actually paid, and more importantly, is to see if there's any suspicious transactions, right? Because if you see something you don't recognize, that could be a sign for fraud. Everyone's trying to get your information, and you want to correct that right away, because most banks, you only have 60 or 90 days, or even sometimes 30 days to make a dispute to get your money back. So always check your statements, applies to students and adults.
Yeah, keep an eye on those numbers, right? Even you hear stories of people saying they notice $2 or $3 charged and they go, wait a second, and that's just an indication maybe there's some fraudulent activity, someone tempting with it, right?
That's exactly, it's a test. If that goes through, then somewhere down the road, you're going to be like, oh, what's this $500 Amazon purchase I never made, right?
Can't even imagine. All right, Barry Choi, thank you so much for coming in. Some really great advice for our students watching this morning. Thanks.
No problem, anytime.